Well, they finally did it. Kickstarter has started a union. And this is going to be a juicy video. Before we get into it though, let me let you know that Downcast Rise and Fall is at the home stretch. We're at the end of the main campaign. It's already jumped up to 580 backers. Thank you everybody. And we're over $27,000. If you haven't backed it yet, now is a great time to jump in before the campaign closes. It's in the link in the description below. Now, we heard rumblings that Kickstarter was going to be starting a union. The employees there wanted to have more power, and now it has finally come to fruition. Kickstarter is now a unionized entity. How's this for a headline? This is on salon.com. Kickstarter's union victory signals a shift in how tech workers perceive their bosses. Big tech has been adept at making workers believe management has their best interest at heart. No more.
Hey, this is library.
All right, so employees at Kickstarter, a crowdfunding platform, in case you didn't know, voted to join a labor union Tuesday. The move comes nearly 11 months after employees publicly announced their plans to unionize. All right, and so that was back in March. It was kind of interesting, some of the reasons, the justification behind their move to unionize is kind of shocking. Now, I always picture Kickstarter as being a very left-leaning corporation. And not only that, because they specifically have in their founding documents, I forget the exact word for it, but they're not a regular business. They're meant for their profits to go toward charity or something like that, like some percentage of it. It's not exactly a nonprofit organization, but it is, I don't know, it's weird. It's weird, that's what it is. They already have a reputation to really favor projects that are very left-leaning, especially in comics, and I defy anybody to disagree with that. They do it quite frequently. They'll promote those projects, and they're known to shut down projects that have conservative leaning, and I don't even mean extremely conservative, but even just conservative leaning comic creators, like your boy Zach's. One example with Jawbreakers, the book had literally nothing in it that would be considered conservative at all. It's just a story. And then also Mike S. Miller. I'm starting to see more people flood to Kickstarter in recent days, and it would not surprise me at all if they start turning down more creators that leave Indiegogo to go to Kickstarter for greener pastures. It's been a real long journey, but now the real work is ahead of us, Kickstarter United said on Twitter. And to all tech and creative workers looking to fight for your rights, this is only just the beginning. I want to know specifically, what is it exactly that you want the right to do from your employer? Do you get paid? Did you agree to that pay rate? I would love to know some specifics. It can't possibly be that you think that Kickstarter is pandering to right-wing trolls or anything like that. Workers grew concerned that their bosses were giving in to demands from right-wing trolls. And this is no joke. So the organizers at Kickstarter, they have this book up called Always Punch Nazis, which sounds ridiculous. It sounds like it doesn't meet their standards. And so they go on to say right-wing site Breitbart accused Kickstarter of violating its own rules that prohibited projects that encourage violence. How does Always Punch Nazis not encourage violence? I would like to know that. But Kickstarter employees reviewed the comic book project and determined it did not violate any company guidelines, but the management disagreed and pulled the fundraiser. That is right. The management thought that a book called Always Punch Nazis was a bit much, but the employees that are starting a union thought that that was just right. Of all the things to cite in one of your reasons to start a union, this seems pretty ridiculous. Like there ought to be something else.
Punching a Nazi is the ethical choice, because people only become Nazis when they didn't get that urge punched out of them in childhood.
The article continues, the path to unionization vote was not a smooth one. In May, CEO Aziz Hassan told employees that the company would not voluntarily recognize the union. In an email to staff leaked to The Verge, Hassan said a union would significantly change the way we operate and work together. In September, Glacier reported to Slate that the company fired 2 employees. Both were organizers. All right, now here is the evil boss, Hassan. He said, "Our mission has been common ground for everyone here during this process, and it will continue to guide us as we enter this new phase together." All right, so right now they're in some kind of negotiation phase. This is interesting too, because it is sort of opening the gates for more tech industry, more tech companies to start unionizing, apparently, or that, at least that's wishful thinking on some part. Likewise, digital journalists are rapidly unionizing, including Salon. Well, there you go. There's what goes around comes around. All right, so yeah, the effort to organize white collar workers in tech, such as software engineers and data analysis, is novel. It also signals that traditional tech perks like free lunch, unlimited vacation days, and cool company outings that used to attract and retain employees might no longer be a viable way for Silicon Valley-like employees to exploit their employees and convince them that they have their best interests at heart. It's insane. This is insane. Those perks are not enough. I've always heard like these stories about Google, and you get free lunch every day. You can go work out. You can go take a nap. I don't know how much of this is true, but I've heard amazing things about these Silicon Valley companies, the perks that you get, but it's not enough because they also want the right to punch Nazis. All right, and here we go. In our experience, tech workers see the empty promises in bottomless perks. They're just empty promises. Redwine told Salon, "We want real power." Now, it's always been, it's almost like a joke. Like you bring up that you're going to bring in some left-wing ideologues into your company, and they're going to try and infect it and change it and take control of it. That's straight up completely what's happening here. And the weirdest part is that Kickstarter already has a reputation for being left-wing and really favor those kinds of ideologies, but it's still not enough. It is never enough. All right, here's a quote for you. "It's amazing how many people in their 20s I talked to who said the one thing that they really want and they've never had in a job is health insurance. You probably should have led with that one instead of the right to have Nazi punching comic books on your site." That makes a little bit more sense. And we'll finish it off by saying the tech industry was once a bastion of libertarianism. I think I missed that stage in Kickstarter's history. I don't know. A bastion of libertarianism, but workers are understanding the common yet subtle ways that their employers exploit them. Indeed, Kickstarter's news this week is likely a source of inspiration for tech workers who are trying to follow suit. I don't feel bad about this at all. It doesn't matter. This is another reason for me. Initially, I don't think there's going to be any initial difference with what's going on, but you would not surprise me at all if down the road they want to take a bigger chunk or they want to have more control. Like they've already stated, more control over which books are on the platform. Probably not just comic books, but other things, and more control over which projects they want to promote on their site and which ones they want to bury in the algorithm. Remember, none of this is actually organic. They do indeed choose which campaigns get the spotlight and which don't. They're very open about that. In contrast to that, there's Indiegogo. I'm really happy with Indiegogo and how it runs because they just, look here, if I go explore comics, that's easy. You can see what's trending, and they're not picking anything in the would you look there. There's Downcast on the first page. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with where I'm at. So if you haven't backed it yet, please do check it out, and I will see you in the next video.